Black Mask has been dealt with, and Alfred Pennyworth is now partners with Bruce. But Bruce's friends now know that he is Batman. They've got a lot of questions for the Dark Knight. But today, we also meet another member of the Batman's Rogues Gallery in the Absolute Universe. Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story series, where you get audio dramas of your favorite comic books, helping you decide what to go out and add to your collection. This is part 1 of the Absolute Zero arc in Scott Snyder's Absolute Batman, with issue number 7. I hope you enjoy. Then, the Jeep bounces through the jungles of Tanzania. A young Victor Fries stares out the window at the passing wildlife. He isn't looking forward to going up into the mountains and looking inside a glacier for his father's studies. But his father promises that there will be even more life inside the glacier, hidden away in the ice. But something is wrong with Victor. His eyes begin to go red, and blood leaks out like tears. Gotham City, present day. Snow falls from the night sky as the group of friends meet at a makeshift memorial to bid farewell to one of their own. Well, who wants to start? Ozzy, you probably knew him best. Anything you want to say? Waylon asks as he glances over his shoulder. But Ozzy shakes his head and motions to Harvey. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know. We all knew him, and Harvey's the one who likes to talk for a living, he says softly. They all draw out matchbooks and begin to light matches, gently tossing them into the memorial, mimicking a game they used to play as children. A game that their friend, Mitchell Matches Malone, was always the best at. So, who saw him last? Waylon finally asks. But a new voice makes them all look up. The voice of another friend that they thought was dead. I did. I was the last person to see him, Bruce says as he steps into the shadows of the alley. 1 week ago, Bruce was walking through the city. Gotham City had declared martial law since the fall of the party animals in Black Mask, with the mayor explaining that the more heavily armed police force was intended to protect its citizens from the likes of Batman and others. Bruce passes a group of cops, now armed like a military unit. Drones patrol the skies above and search for the vigilante, but Bruce has been quiet. He is kept low since Pennyworth has patched him up, agreeing that he needed to heal. But he stops and looks out over the bay, at the mystery Arc-M facility that is being built on an island in the harbor. Bruce needs to get inside, so he looked to an old friend who was good at forging papers. Bruce, is that really you? Matches Malone says as he walks forward. Bruce smiles at his thin and slightly disheveled-looking friend and reaches to shake his hand. But Matches glances around and suddenly pulls Bruce away. Walk with me, buddy, Matches whispers. The two start walking, and Matches explains that he got Bruce's papers, but also made his own, and had been working on the island for a week. You didn't, Bruce whispers, cursing himself for not realizing that Matches would do this. He always stuck his neck out for the others when they were younger, but Matches smiles weakly and nods, explaining that something weird is going on in that place, that it is one of the worst prisons he's ever been in. And they're putting people in there already. It's up and running. I'm going back tomorrow, but you should take this, Matches says as he pulls out his phone and hands it to Bruce. Bruce turns away, unsure of what to say to his friend, but Matches puts a hand on his shoulder. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Truly. I miss you and the guys. Crime Alley life, right? And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't want to. I owe you for, Matches begins to say, but he suddenly gasps and chokes on his words. Bruce turns around and stares in shock as Matches begins to bleed from his pores and out his ears. He gasps and falls to the ground. All of his blood seemingly exploded from his body at once. Bruce stares down at his friend, and though it pains him, he realizes that he can't be caught with the body. He quickly reaches down for Match's phone and rushes away. Back in the alley, Bruce explains to his friends that Matches died from some sort of chemical weapon. There are some leads on his phone, clues. I'll get the person who did this, I promise. But I just wanted to tell you that, Bruce says as he begins to turn away. But his friends become angry, pointing out that he should have told them about being Batman. We thought you were dead. The last thing any of us heard about you was you diving from Ozzy's plane dressed like Nosferatu, Edward points out. But Bruce shakes his head. There's nothing to say about it. I should have kept you apart from all of this. All of you, Bruce tells them. But his friends disagree, pointing out that he worked with each of them in some aspect to help train himself for being Batman. But Bruce just shakes his head and turns to walk away, growling that he needs to get back to work. Later, Bruce has gone through Match's phone. The clues point to a list of researchers for Arc M, including the name of Victor Fries, owner of the V-Corps Corporation that works out of Gotham. Bruce tracked their headquarters to a building that uses enough power to light a city block. That night, Batman hunts once more. A snowstorm swirls through the night sky, and Batman glides on his wings, knowing that the patrolling drones will be blind in the storm. But his luck doesn't hold as the storm stops halfway to his target. The police immediately spot the Dark Knight and send the remote drones after him. So Batman goes low, folding his cape and diving down to street level, using his cape's claws to latch onto the rail tracks and swing out of the drone's way. Suddenly, his comms buzz. Bruce, I have information, Alfred says over the line. I'm listening. Bruce grunts as he dodges another attack from the drones. There's a pause. How's your arm? Are you resting? Alfred asks, but he already knows the answer. Yeah, what did you find out? Bruce continues. Alfred explains that he tracked down the agent that killed Matches and discovered that it wasn't a biological weapon, but a bacterium. There's no record of it. Not in the UK or at the WHO, Alfred explains. Then where did it come from? Bruce questions as he swoops low. Two police officers spot him and prepare to open fire, but Batman lashes out with his cape claws and hooks one of them. A quick flick of the cape sends the officer into his partner. We don't know. I'll be back in a few days and we can track it down. Until then, take care of yourself, kid, Alfred orders. Batman leaps up and begins to scale the building, heading for the roof access as he hangs up with his new partner. Inside, Bruce switches back to his civilian clothes, pretending to be an inspector from the power company, making sure the building is up to code. Inside the offices of V-Corps, he finds several prehistoric creatures frozen in ice. He puts a hand to the glass, marveling at how real they look. They're all real, if that's what you're wondering, a voice calls out. Bruce turns as a blonde scientist steps out from the inner offices. The mammoth is from Yukon, the tiger from Siberia, and the beetle from Chile. Neat, huh? The man says with a smile. The man doesn't seem suspicious of Bruce as he explains he is here for an inspection. Oh, please look around. If there's anything I can do for you, just say. Even if it's just a midnight tour. Dr. Freeze and his wife collected all kinds of wild specimens, the scientist says. Bruce nods as he stares out the window and looks back at the man. Do they still oversee things here then? Victor and Nora Freeze? He asks. The scientist pauses for a moment, but finally turns and taps a button on the wall. I guess you could say that. Yes, he says as the wall slides away, revealing a cryogenics tank with the bodies of Victor and Nora frozen within. Their faces pulled into horrible grimaces. I'm their son, Victor Jr., the scientist explains. He motions to the bodies as he notices Bruce's look of horror. I know it seems extreme, but it's what they wanted, he says, explaining that they founded V-Corps to freeze those suffering from terminal diseases, hoping that one day a cure would be found. Has anyone actually been revived? Bruce asks, still staring up at the frozen scientists. Victor nods. He puts a hand on the glass as he explains that he had a rare terminal disorder, so his parents froze him. Bruce nods as he turns away. "So, I guess the ice saved you," he says. Victor nods sadly. "Yes. Still, they told me it wouldn't hurt. When I woke up, the world would be a better place. But the ice, oh, it's not what they thought. Not at all," Victor says. Bruce's eyes widen as Victor's voice seems to change, becoming more rigid, cold. He turns back and stares as the man's skin goes gray. His veins become blue, his eyes turned red. "I felt everything, every moment, and the pain. My God, ice grinds and twists. The ice isn't grace, it is fury. It's reckoning," Victor says as he turns back to Bruce, his body twisting and having become monstrous. "The ice births monsters, just like me. Now to the land of ice we go," Victor says as he reaches out and grabs Bruce by the face, his icy grip tightening and pulling Bruce closer. And that concludes issue 7 of Absolute Batman. We finally met the absolute Victor Fries of this universe. And boy, I am excited to see where this goes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps out the channel. Plus, hitting that bell icon gets you notifications when new videos go live. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.